find joy in living slowly. I find it is more productive, and I get to see the simple beauty in all the little moments I may have passed by if I wasn't present in them. Slow living is a mindset, being present and intentional in everything you do. Steaming an apron and finding joy in the woven threads, seeing the creases dissipate. Putting away dishes and being thankful for all the meals they placed. Wiping the windows while admiring the view. Cleaning the floor and thinking of all the times I spent standing on it, being grateful for having a floor in the first place. Slow living has allowed me to enjoy the simple moments and have gratitude for a life made with intention. As most days I spend a lot of time alone, which means it is often very quiet unless I fill the house with lots of noise, and I thought today was a perfect day to make a fall vegetable soup inspired by the upcoming autumn season. These are some of the navy beans that I soaked overnight. I love soaking beans overnight because I feel like it just brings you back to a time when all of these gadgets and gadgets or whatever you want to call them weren't around, and we had to do things more thoroughly, and I seem to enjoy that. So I soak my beans overnight instead of cooking them quickly and then putting them in the crock pot. I love, just like slow living, everything to be around me, to have a process to it. That way I can be more mindful of what I'm doing, and I get to have simple joys like this of spilling water all over my countertops. But today we are making a vegetable soup, so I thought I would share with you what is included in this soup. Of course, you are going to need some tomato juice, In mine, I used 3 red potatoes and I cubed them up pretty small. And with all my vegetables that I used, I tried to cut them up at the same size. That way they cook at the same time and you don't get any of that mushy vegetable texture that nobody likes. So I chopped up 3 potatoes, and then next I'm going to be doing a bell pepper. The bell peppers can be chopped up a little bit thicker, especially if you love the flavor, because they will not take as long to cook as the potatoes and the carrots will. So I just used 1 large bell pepper, but if you love bell peppers, you could use more or you could use less. The next thing I chopped up was a poblano pepper. I just love adding different varieties of vegetables into my meals, especially if it's something that we're not used to eating. We still get the nutritional benefits from it, and we probably won't even taste it in the soup. So I just chopped that up the same way I did the bell pepper because it won't take as long to cook as the other more rooted vegetables. And then next I'm going to shave the carrot. I cannot find the word. But I'm going to take the skin off of the carrot because I find that carrots cook a lot faster if you shave the outside part off. I still can't find that word. Okay, and then I did chop up these carrots very small into little cubes because they do take an extremely long time to cook in a crock pot. The next thing I'll be adding is 2 things of corn. I'm just going to take the outer parts off of them, rinse them off, and then cut down the sides and then add the corn to the crock pot. I know I can do this much easier by buying a couple of cans of mixed vegetables, which has always done us well when we have done that, but there is something so special about knowing and seeing where your food comes from and being able to chop it up and put it in the crock pot that way. It just brings me back again to those slower days, the simpler days, and it seems like it would be a lot more work to have to do all this yourself, but it does give you a lot of space to ponder or to just be in the moment and be present with what you're doing. And in that time, you won't even be thinking about all the other cares of the world because you're just focused on not chopping your finger off while you are cutting the corn off of the, my goodness, the cob. I'm lost for words today, y'all. So the next thing I'm going to do, which I think helps break down the potatoes and the carrots because they are really hard, especially if they're raw, and they do take a lot of hours to cook. I am going to squeeze some lemon juice in with my vegetable soup to help break down the structure of those root vegetables, and the acid is going to help doing that. The acid in the tomato juice will also help doing it as well. Alright, and I'm going to put all of these scraps back in my strainer And later on I'll go ahead and put them outside. That way they can decompose on the ground, or any of the animals out there that need something to eat can have some natural food to eat without me having to go out and buy them stuff. We have a lot of cats and bunnies around, and squirrels of course, in our yard, so I like to take care of them a little bit. So now it's time to add all the seasoning after all your good, wholesome vegetables are in there. I am adding an entire thing of tomato juice. And I'm going to add some paprika. Lately, especially if y'all have been watching my vlogs, I add paprika to just about every meal I can think of. Then I'm going to add some chili powder just for a little spice. I'm also going to add some onion powder. I did not put onions in here. My husband does not like onions a lot, so I didn't want to overwhelm him with a bunch of onion flavor. And then I'm going to add some oregano. Another seasoning I have been loving lately is oregano. I've been putting it on just about everything as well. Then I'm going to add some garlic salt. And 2 cubes of beef broth. If you have liquid broth, you could use that as well, but I just wanted to use the cubes today. You give that a really good stir, and then of course we have to top it off with some bay leaves. So I added about 1 cup of soaked beans. You can add as many or as little beans as you'd like, or you could substitute your beans for a different protein if you want. We normally do beef in here, or ground chicken. You can even do ground turkey, but today I just wanted to keep it simple and put some beans in there. So now it's time to clean up all my mess, because if I don't do it now, I probably won't do it till later on in the evening. And I really wanted this space to be clean, because a clean house is a clean mind. That is my saying that I'm starting to tell myself to keep me on track a little bit. Still enjoying this praline candle I got from a store called Ollie's. It just smells so good, and it is by, what was the brand? Oh my goodness, I think it was Glade. Y'all, every time I get it wrong. So now I'm just gonna put away the dishes. And then after I get done putting away the dishes, I thought this would be a good time to reorganize and declutter underneath my sinks, and then also on my utensils. I have just gotten so much stuff in my utensil drawers that does not belong, and it is causing quite the chaos. So that is what I'm going to be working on right now. So after a little bit of decluttering, I think I've found a good rhythm, and this is what I'm going to end up with. And then I'm just going to place this back in my drawer. Y'all, I almost said counter. Probably because I was on the counter, but here's what it looks like now. All the essentials we need in one drawer, and now I'm going to move on to our next drawer, which has all of our measuring cups, a few little gadgets, and then a lot of lids. And that is what it looks like now after I took out everything that just did not belong and reorganized all of my measuring cups and the lids that go on our mugs.